Ever since I was 3, I always enjoyed anime. Whether it be a movie or a regular series, it's just been something I've truly enjoyed. The genre alone has so many different variations of style, but the ones that stick out to me are the aesthetic ones. I know aesthetic is just appreciation of art, so technically any anime could be an aesthetic, but I'm more so talking about Yu Yu Hakusho or Inuyasha, rather than this, or this, and most certainly not this. I don't know why, but this new generation of anime just doesn't hit the same aesthetic bar as the old generation does. But I will say, whenever a new generation of anime gets the animation of my aesthetic, it's just peak. So with all that being said, let's talk about my favorite aesthetically pleasing anime. I feel like I cannot talk about aesthetic without bringing up my favorite anime of all time, which is Dragon Ball is amazing. If you've been here a while, it's no secret that I love this anime. Dragon Ball is peak aesthetic, point blank, period. The art style is so captivating, and the fact that it's mixed with an intriguing plotline, great characters, and fantastic world building, it just feels like every single episode was Christmas morning. It just creates this vibe that makes me feel connected and present within the show. Whenever I revisit the series, it's like a roller coaster of emotions. One day, I'll be watching Goku and Krillin just training and goofing off, and then boom, King Piccolo is taking over the planet. Obviously, there are certain elements such as plot and character interactions that are important in setting stakes and captivating a viewer, but what really seals it for me in this show was the art. I mean, these guys were in their bag when they were producing this show. The Kamehameha Wave, the Power Pole, the Kikoho, everything just looks so cool. Oh, and it doesn't stop here either. Dragon Ball Z does an even better job with animating techniques. The Gallic Gun, Destructo Disc, Spirit Bomb, Tri-Beam, Special Beam Cannon, all of it is aesthetically pleasing to my eyeballs. Oh my goodness, and the character designs in this show. I love the look of each character being presented. Goku's hair is original, Krillin is a unique bald guy, Bulma is what I imagine every Playboy bunny to be, the villains look amazing too. You mean to tell me that there's an evil mutated bug absorbing cities all across the globe and looks like this? Yeah, sign me up. Or a menacing fat piece of bubblegum that can take over the entire universe and destroy it? Yeah, I can get down with that. Oh, and I can't forget about transformations within the series. There's so many beautiful transformations within the show that just hit. Everybody's gangster until Goku pulls up with blonde hair. On a serious note, Super Saiyan is just one of those transformations that just seizes anime aesthetic. It's vivid, it's bright, it's radiant, and it's as if you have no choice but to stare at it. And it's not just the original Super Saiyan form either. There's Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan 4, and might I add, Super Saiyan 4 is just... There's other transformations I enjoy as well, such as the Great Ape transformation and other variations of Super Saiyan forms in Dragon Ball Super like Super Saiyan God, which is pretty nice visually. They're all unique and have different forms of colors and styles. Speaking of bright colors, let's talk about fighting evil by moonlight, winning love by daylight, never running from a real fight. She is the one named Sailor Moon. Ah, Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon is what I envision to be what an acid trip is. Never done acid before, but I'm pretty sure this anime captivates that. The colors feel as if I'm traveling through space and going back in time simultaneously. I know that this metaphor is weird, but I can't come up with anything more descriptive. This show as a kid was mesmerizing and I couldn't keep my eyes off it. I didn't passionately watch the show, but whenever it was on TV, I couldn't keep my eyes off it. This show's aesthetic just takes you on a journey. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I fully understood the plot or even remembered most characters, but I do remember enjoying the breathtaking art that was on the show. The individualistic nature on how each character design had meaning and purpose behind it was also pretty cool. Also, I thought the lore around this show was completely genius. All the main characters' names are focused around a planet within the Milky Way, and I thought this concept was clever within itself. Again, I have no idea what the hell they're doing within this show, but they're probably boxing in space or something, I don't know. Either way, this show looks pretty good. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say other than that the show's aesthetic is a complete knockout. But now that we're on the topic of knockouts, dude, if you haven't seen Hajime no Ippo, what are you doing? If this anime isn't in your top 10 of all time, your list isn't valid. I don't make the rules. But seriously though, Hajime no Ippo, go watch it. What was I talking about? Oh right, the art style. I wouldn't say the art style is as good as Dragon Ball or Sailor Moon, but it's still really nice. There's also some great scenes that just smack my aesthetic meter to a 10. A beautiful example of this was when Ippo is training when the sun is setting. That scene just has me bricked up. Just look at how amazing this art looks, man. Makes me want to pick up boxing again. Art like this is amazing and makes me have so much appreciation for anime as a whole. I truly enjoy nature. I think nature is another beautiful aesthetic in itself, which is why I like the sunset training in Hajime no Ippo. Now, the beach scenes were also pretty cool. Looking at Ippo and his friends training for their upcoming matches is probably some of my favorite things to watch. The fireworks scenes in this anime is spectacular. I won't spoil anything because you really gotta go watch it. But this scene ties so much together and reflects on how far Ippo and his friends have come, and the art ties together everything. Scenes of this nature are just so prolific and grab my heart for whatever the case is, man. As mentioned earlier, the beach scene will always be my favorite in the show, and whenever nature and anime combine together, whether it be sunrises, snow, or thunderous rain, nature's aesthetic just feels amazing, and whenever anime captivates it properly, it's really fascinating. And now that we're on the topic of rain and nature aesthetics, I have to talk about this movie. As mentioned earlier, there are some modern day anime that slap my favorite type of aesthetic, and this movie just happens to be one of them. This movie is incredible and blew me away when I first watched it back in 2020. God bless these animators that are in the studios for hours and hours on end to make creative pieces like this, because movies like these are what keeps me going in life. I feel incredibly grateful for the opportunity to even be able to view media like this sometimes. Some people can't get to experience these types of shows, and the fact that I can just makes me full of gratitude. Extremely weird tangent, but let me get back to it. I don't know how, but this movie was able to capture that feeling I typically get from watching that old school anime. The art makes me feel as if I'm in a different time, a time much simpler compared to today. Rain is honestly my favorite natural aesthetic alongside snow, but I never thought an animated movie could capture rain to look so beautiful. The details of every shot in this movie is so orgasmic and well put together. Not many anime movies can reflect this level of artistry, and this is what makes me love this movie even more. It's crazy how a movie can be so powerful and impactful. This movie is easily a 10 out of 10 with some of the best modern aesthetic to date. Jeez, and this line in the movie? Honestly, the icing on the cake. Please tell me you've seen this movie. This movie is peak fiction. If I could wipe my memory just to get that first time experience, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Speaking of 10 out of 10s, let's talk about the best aesthetically pleasing anime of all time, which is...
I think it's time to blow this song. Get everyone stuck together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
The thumbnail definitely gave this one away, but out of all the anime I've seen in my life, Cowboy Bebop has to have the best aesthetic by far. Bro, look at how cool these scenes look. The art is so soothing and it gives off such a chill vibe. It makes me want to sit back and relax. The portraits of different planets and Spike having to chase bounties all across the solar system was something I never knew I needed in my life. I don't know, the idea of a cowboy in space just seems to be silly as a concept, but when executed properly, it just makes me want to explode inside. How these animators were able to nail such a top tier art style is still confusing to me to this day. I mean, how is it that art seems old yet futuristic at the same time? Seriously, do you know how talented you have to be to pull off something to that caliber? I mean, this was made back in the 90s and it still looks better than most anime out today. This is the reason, and I mean a big reason, why Cowboy Bebop is still in my top 5 anime of all time. I can rewatch this series an infinite amount of times and I'll still never get bored or tired of what this anime has to offer. The art just keeps bringing me back in, as well as Faye, because, you know. Besides her, I've never seen such unique and extravagant characters like these. Like, look at Jet. Jet's a cool looking dude. And Spike too, whenever you look at him, he's him. I have so much more to say about this anime since it holds a special place in my heart, but I'll save that for another video depending on how this video does. But in terms of aesthetic and appeal, Cowboy Bebop is easily my favorite anime in terms of art and design, and is definitely the best. And if you haven't seen Cowboy Bebop, that's cringe, go watch it. It's only 26 episodes long and you get to watch the coolest anime character to ever grace television. Watch Cowboy Bebop, I promise it's peak fiction. But with all that being said, that is all I have for you today, Kings. These are my favorite aesthetic animes that hold a special place in my heart. If you enjoyed this thought-provoking analysis, please feel free to like the video. Also, leave a comment as well. Did I forget any anime that has that peak aesthetic? And what's your favorite aesthetically pleasing anime? Let me know and leave some recommendations in the comments as I enjoy reading and responding to you. Yes, you and you. You guys especially should leave a like and sub today because it's your boy's birthday, you know what I'm saying? And I would deeply appreciate the little present, you know what I mean? I gave you this video, you give me a like and sub? Nah, I'm just kidding. But it is my birthday today, but some of you guys have been wondering how old I am, so here's a hint. And with all that being said, I just want to say, again, I'm extremely thankful. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Until we meet again, it's your boy King Theodore, keep it 100, and I'm out. Peace.
Look, a lot of niggas pray for whips while hoping to get their cheddar raised. I'm just praying for better days.